Welcome back to another episode of aNERDspective, where Antony from aNERDgallery sit down with friends all over the world to talk and to learn new perspectives around Indonesian textile art. Today, I'll be talking to Bernarda, the founder of the Batik Library, who is promoting batik across the world all the way from Vancouver, Canada. So, we'll listen to her perspectives in engaging the public to learn about Indonesian textiles in North America. So, sit back, relax, and enjoy Bernarda's aNERDspective. All right. Welcome, Bernarda, to today's session of aNERDspective. How is there in Vancouver?
Oh, it's pretty hot in here. I think it goes up until 32 degrees right now. Yeah, hotter than Jakarta, probably.
Oh, okay. Nice. Yep. So we talked a little bit about, our advocacy for batik, and we met through all the different groups, and we just would like to find out more about your love for batik and how you want to promote it all the way in Canada, and how is it there, and I am very curious.
First of all, thank you for having me for today. I will always watch your videos. It's always very inspiring. And then it's really nice to get all the info, bits and bots about batik.
Yes. Yeah, before we start and discuss further, maybe we can start with a little introduction about who you are, your background, and how you fell in love with batik.
Yeah. So my name is Bernarda. I'm originally from Indonesia, Jakarta. I came from fashion design background, and in the past 10 years, I always incorporate Indonesian traditional textile whenever I design clothes. So probably in 2015 that I got back into school, and then I get back to making another final collection. That's when I started being like, okay, I want to use songket and batik all together in one collection. So that's all how it started. And then from there, occasionally I design clothes, and then it's been kind of like a journey of discovering new, they call it wastra, like all the various fabrics. So which is always so interesting. So whenever I come back, I would always shop a lot of fabrics.
Oh, so you actually studied fashion design in Canada?
Not really. So I studied fashion design in Jakarta in La Salle College. And then after that, I moved to Japan, and then I went to school. It's called Sugino Fashion College. I went there.
In Japan?
In Japan, yes.
Mm-hmm. And then what makes you landed up in Vancouver now?
In Vancouver. It's due to family circumstances that I have to move here.
Okay.
So therefore, I'm here.
I see. So all your families are there as well?
Yes.
Oh, that's very nice, especially in this pandemic where travel is so restricted.
Yes, it's not bad at all. I have my niece in here.
You started as a fashion designer, and now you started Batik Library, which is a brand that obviously is advocating and selling batik. But I believe the evaluation is not directly to batik. If you can take us through a journey of building up the Batik Library.
Okay, so the Batik Library is actually formed with the sole purpose of wanting to share the story of each traditional motif available in the market. So for example, parang, what is the motif, the story behind parang, and then kawung, and then after that there's mega mendung, and so on. So, and then I want it to be a directory whenever, if you go on a website, and then it's an easy directory where you can click on it, and then it each explain the story, that kind of thing. And also watching through the fashion, how do you call it, comparison with Jakarta fashion, and then fashion in Vancouver. It's really incredible how fast in Jakarta is. Well, of course, because there's so many people in Jakarta, so they're way high fashion in Jakarta. At least that's what I think. So I always feel like, oh, I want to bring these people to North America. Like it probably could sell, or it's just like just how do you call it, to better show them that they're all pretty.
So, do you still do fashion with that, or just solely on promoting batik?
I want to do it at the meantime because I'm really busy with building up the foundation for the Batik Library, like the website and everything. So I'm not doing anything at the moment design related.
And yeah, we have been talking, and definitely, I mentioned that it's a huge undertaking to set up that library, right? To be a comprehensive site and stuff. How are you? Like, what's your game plan? Like,
My game plan that I approached Tony. That was one of it.
that's the start.
That's the start. Because Tony is also have a section on his website. It's called Batik Osophy, Batik Philosophy. So basically the same idea. Yeah, is to my main plan for now to find like-minded people to be able like to form a group together, and then also looking towards the artisans like in each specific region too.
Yeah. Oh, right. Okay. Maybe you can take us through the process of how you work with artisans, because I cannot imagine when I am in Singapore and I'm working cross border, which is relatively nearer, and then you go all the way to Vancouver. And yeah, how do you work with the artisans?
How do I find them? How do I work with them? My friend Foni have a really great WhatsApp group called the Sustainable Fashion Indonesia. That's where it started, that I found all this like-minded people. We're all people that are care about the sustainability of the fashion, and then like with the natural dyes and everything too. If it's like far or not far, I'd say it's just far to begin with. Even though if I'm in Jakarta and then I'm looking for artisan in Jawa, that's also far. So because thanks to the technology, it's probably just the time difference, but it doesn't really matter at all. And it's just a matter of like looking through Instagram. That's how I found everybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So after you found them on Instagram, is pretty much working the time difference, and then I guess the other one might be the shipping. I guess if you do physical stuff, yeah.
Yes. Shipping for me at the moment, I feel that I cannot really do much about it. That for now, what I can work with is just a small package with an air freight, which means like that's a lot of money. But if I want to go with cargo freight, I can't really. I'm not in that. How do you call it? I'm not in that in that capacity yet, because they work in like big volume, and then like as you can see, the batik is all about handmade and everything. If you want to send like a big huge package, so that becomes like a huge big capital. So
Yeah.
no, not yet.
Mm-hmm. And what sort of items do you offer?
At the moment we are offering a bandana. I actually have one here.
Awesome.
Bandana.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool.
Aha. Bandana. And this was like it's more like Ibu, I want to make something small so you can recreate your kain panjang into a bandana. So this is what she made for me.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but then like when I see those old batik books, apparently there's also people that makes square, like square batik. So maybe it also look good as a tablecloth too.
That is what's the sizes?
This one is 60 by 60.
Nice.
And yeah, at first I was gonna be like starting selling clothes, but then like I realized that, oh, I don't even have a market yet. I don't have a customer, so I don't know what's the size ranges where which I should go. So this is how it became a bandana. So I gotta start small and start somewhere.
Yep. And how is the response like?
The response, no online sales yet, but I got probably like 5 or 6 sales through an offline bazaar. So I did a pop-up market, but I wouldn't say that it's also working very well because of the demographic where I did my pop-up. Maybe it might works better if I move to another place where I should do my pop-up, but for now, it's been not too bad.
How's the landscape like in terms of understanding of batik over there?
Well, compared to people in Europe, people in North America, they know batik, but they're not really as comprehensive. So they probably only see it like, oh, it's beautiful, but they probably don't really realize it that it's actually a lot of work. So what happened when I did my pop-up last time, so instead of just showcasing the fabric, I also put the chanting on the table and then like the chanting and the wax on the table to better explain them what is batik. So it's mainly more towards batik education, not solely selling batik. If it's like solely selling batik, then I find it hard.
Yeah, because we need to give them a reason to buy. And I noticed that you are showing us natural dye pieces. Do you work solely with natural dyes?
I try to, but for a comparison of like 10 out of a 10, probably I have one that are not natural dye. But I try to promote more of the natural dye because it's more natural, nature friendly, and then it's better for the workers too.
I'm not sure if it is since you offer them natural dyes and at that particular price point. So I'm not sure if you were to offer in synthetic dyes. I'm just wondering what will be the response like.
Oh, I think I would not bother if it's like a smaller pieces with a synthetic dyes. It's not that worth it. So I don't want to be like low-balling myself. Um, for the synthetic dyes are just like the ones that I don't really, how do you call it? Like the one that I don't really plan. Like for example, like I also outsource the kain tenun. Sometimes it's not, how do you call it? They don't have a certain design in like 5 items, for example. There's only like one of each. Sometimes there's the one that are also pretty, but they're made with the synthetic dyes. But yeah.
Yeah, so it's the bandana and then you do offer woven cloth as well. Sorry, you mentioned.
Kain tenun. Yes, in the future. I want it to be like a place to find Indonesian fabrics too. So I have a how do you call it? Like the artisan that I work with that is from Sumba Timur. That is Sumba, yeah, Sumba Timur, yeah.
And I believe that you are very in tune to sustainability and stuff. How do you incorporate those values in your process?
In my process, probably it's more like a sustainability company check. Like before I work with the person that I'm gonna work with, like I check if they're like doing certain things, like are they properly doing their wastewater treatment? I guess that's the main point. And then also like how consistent they are with the natural dye, and then how they are treating their workers. Probably it also shown on their Instagram. So I will go on a project with them, and then I'll decide after this span of project if it's like, are we both are comfortable, are we are still both in the aligning, like, and then like I also virtually meet them and then like have a chit chat on like explaining how was like their work area and stuff and so on like that.
So can I say that I mean, because we cannot check for, having audit and stuff, right? Checking papers and everything. So I guess what you did was to kind of like communicate with them and then do a small trial project
Yes.
to kind of like assess how
Yeah.
they work, and then before you do a bigger production.
Yes, exactly.
And how do you find the response so far with the artisans?
There are people that are not really open to natural dye. There are people that are very open to natural dye, and then there are also people that are like also for example, like this one lady, she was like really happy, like, oh, it's really nice to meet you, that we are all the same like-minded people, that we want to keep our environment in the, how do you call it, in a nice we care about the environment. Yes, that's the word.
Yeah. For those who are not very keen on working with natural dyes, like what are some of the responses that they give?
Oh, I find it really hard to even chat with them. Like I would ask like, oh, so this is what I'm looking for, this and this and this, and then like out of like maybe 2 or 3 questions, like she doesn't even answer, or like I get a slower response on that specific question, like, oh, I love your quality, I love your design, I would like to work with you, but can I know more? For example, I asked, how about the kain mori, the cotton itself? Like, do you know if it's local or if it's like imported, or is there like any certification? And she wasn't really open to it, or so you're currently doing synthetic dye and natural dye, but can I do more with the natural dye? And then like she didn't really reply on it. Like, okay, no.
So it's more of they are not as enthusiastic.
Yes, because probably for them, they're already like a very established business.
Oh, okay. That might be.
Compared to myself, probably I'm like just like a tiny shrimp. That could happen too.
Yes. Yes, we have had our share with, working with people who are more established than us, that, like, who are these people,
Like it's more like, or I cannot even waste my time, I'm so busy. Like, okay.
Yeah. Yes. Well, you grow to learn, after a while, that rejection is part of the process.
Yes.
You learn to take rejections after a while.
Yes.
Or they just ghosted me.
Yeah.
And in terms of design itself, I think you mentioned a little bit that, instead of a kain panjang, can you like make it into a bandana, for example?
Yeah.
If you can like share a little bit more about your thought process in coming up with like all this design, or modifying motif. I saw your parang and then you make it into a square and then filled with some little designs. How do you come up with that?
No, it's not me. It's from Ulur Wiji.
Okay.
She's the owner, and then she designed it for me.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. Because at that time when I started and connecting with all the artisans, I barely have time to do anything. And then she designed my first batik, my first collection.
Nice. Okay. So you pretty much kind of like just specify the size of what might work.
Like I'm more into directing them, like which is like what are good or not good. Like for example, it's just like tiny details, like if let me show you this one. So like for example, like this one,
Mm-hmm.
like I would specify like how do they go with the motif. Like if it gone that way when
Upright.
it met, it's kind of like weird.
Yeah.
Like just specifying on like how to implement the smaller details, the finer print, and then like more towards the quality. How do you call it? Quality checking.
Mm-hmm.
Like for example, like this.
Yes.
This is like shorter compared to this side, which is bigger. Where's this side? Like this side.
Mm-hmm.
So probably just like making sure that they're keeping it within the quality.
And how do you work with that? Because one of our concern here is, quality control, because we
Mm-hmm.
have no one in Indonesia that does QC for us. So if like
Oh,
goods are here in Singapore and we found something not right, and
oh
it's
no.
so hard to rectify.
I think that that comes again when who are your how do you call it? The one that you're communicating. For me, luckily, the one that are like connecting with me is the owner herself. Because Nasta from Uluwiji, she have her I think 4 or 6 members in like that work under her. So like I tell her directly, and then probably I think making a tech pack also helps. With this bandana, I will make a tech pack. Like for example, it has to be like 3 centimeters, for example, like that. And then we work with a PDF graphic with the how do you call it, the digital
Mm-hmm.
blueprint too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But like for the biji-bijian, like because according to her,
Uh-huh.
Indonesia is very rich of the for the how do you call it, the spices. So she made spices all around that.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah,
And what is that hardship like? Seeds.
I think it's like seed. I think this one is a leaf.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Ah,
it's a
okay.
leaf.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't really see. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. I really like this color.
Mhm. And is all on, is that, are those cotton mostly?
Yes, yes. And then cotton too, like cotton. That was also a tricky one because I was like, okay, I want to have a local Indonesian cotton, but apparently local Indonesian cotton is not a thing.
Yeah.
So yep,
How do you react to that when you learn about it?
I was like, holy no. I didn't know about that. And like I remember like probably like years ago, my friend keep on telling me that because she works in the industry, she works in the jeans factory. It's like this is the problem with Indonesia, like you cannot really grow cotton.
Yeah.
It's like, oh okay. And then now that okay Mbak, I wanna buy Indonesian local cotton, yeah. Like there's no such thing like imported. But yeah, but we found a local Indonesian cotton.
Oh, where is it from? Do you know?
It's from the distributor is in Bali.
Okay.
Yeah, and then like apparently if you want to find sustainable, like everything sustainable, like there's a lot of a company that based in Bali because of course
Mm-hmm.
they're more sustainable conscious there, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I just got to learn recently about mafia benang.
Oh really?
Yeah, people that controls the supplies and imports of threads.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
and
wow.
and hence there are certain producers, certain artisans that have access to this, and of course, like the smaller ones do not have the
Yeah.
better quality ones.
Oh, wow.
Mhm.
I mean, I could imagine that. It's in Indonesia, there's a lot of mafia.
And yeah, well, with any industries, I guess there will be
Yeah.
someone who is controlling
Yeah.
something.
Yes.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. I did order a local Indonesian thread
Mhm.
that it's not cotton, but it's rayon. I think I don't
Mhm.
remember, but it's Indonesian cotton. But yeah, making sure that most of the stuff that they're using are local to Indonesian, like the dyes, for example, kayak those ketapang leaf, those are like everywhere, and then like kayu jambal, like those also everywhere, right? But it's just like the indigo dyes, I think. She also using it locally, I think.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Do you do your own batik there?
No. I was thinking of trying because since I'm on holiday right now, that I have a bit of a time, but I haven't touched it. uh, I borrowed a set of batik from the local consulate of Indonesia in here.
A set of what, sorry?
A set of batik, like the chanting,
Oh, they
and
do have?
yeah, they do have, because like sometimes they have a batik workshop,
Oh, they do.
because it's also like part of the promoting Indonesian culture, right?
Yes. Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm surprised.
Yeah.
Like how active is that? The workshop and the consulate's activities
Um,
regarding promoting batik.
I think probably every year they usually have a batik workshop whenever. So every year the Indonesian community in Canada, no, I mean in Vancouver, they would have an Indonesian festival. They usually have a corner of like they would do it every an hour or so to do an batik bazaar, but because of COVID, so there's none right now. I think they used to do it like once a year
Mhm. How
or
big is
twice a
the
year.
how big is the Indonesian community in Vancouver?
I'd say probably about 5,000 people. It's not so big, but it's big enough. There's quite a lot of Indonesian people here and there.
Yeah. Yeah. So you are kind of like targeting this 5,000, the very least, to reintroduce batik, Indonesian pride.
Yes, yes, the very least to find people in Vancouver or in Canada that are also excited about like, hey, this is batik.
If you can share some of the challenges that you face while setting up Batik Library or running
Oh,
Batik Library.
okay. Going through research and brand development, I realized how limited the sources that I can get, and therefore I need to search for teammates like Tony to explain the motif itself. And because, yes, again, the limited resources, so it ends up becoming like a research instead of just a hobby.
Mhm.
It's not that easy.
Yes, definitely. This vacation is a good time for you to do all that. Uh,
Yes.
Sorry, if you can share to the listeners, what are you busy with?
So I work in the film industry. So in the film industry, usually people work 10 months out of a year. 10 months means one season of filming.
TV series, you
TV series, yes.
mean?
And the last show that I did was Superman and Lois. Make sure to watch them. It was Superman and Lois, the season 1. And we finished shooting from October till July last month. So it went for 10 months. It was for shooting for 15 episodes.
Okay.
And then I'm off for 2 months, and then I'm gonna start working again on September.
Mm-hmm. How do you land it up in film?
Oh, I landed up in film because I was like, probably it's a bit frustrating to find work in here, because especially I didn't go to school in here, so it's a little bit hard to because I don't have many connections.
Yeah.
Because probably it's similar like in Jakarta and in Singapore. If you don't know people, it's really hard to find jobs. And
When
yeah,
do you arrive in Canada?
I arrived in Canada 2015. So
Oh, okay.
this is my 5th year. No,
Ah,
6th year.
yeah. So
No,
you are
yeah.
there. Basically, you have already like started working, right?
Yes.
When
I
you
came
came here.
here and then I looked for work. I didn't go to school. I just go to work straight.
And then after that, you set up like Batik Library. When was it?
It's actually earlier 2021.
Oh,
No, 2021. I just started this year.
yeah. Oh, but earlier you were running a fashion brand, if
Yes.
I'm not wrong. Yeah.
Fashion brand. I do it occasionally just as how do you call it? Just to keep up to myself in the fashion industry. Making collection and then after that submitting it for competitions. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. How easy is it to running your own business over there? Is it like, as easy in Indonesia that you just like open PO and
Uh, I think it's not that easy because first of all, our concern was the amount of human that lives around here. I mean, in Vancouver, it's a lot of people in here, but just compared like the population of Canada itself, if you compare it to Indonesia, it's like how many times, how do you call it, berapa kali lipat? Yeah, so probably that's the main concern. And also myself, because I didn't come, because mainly all this year, all I do was like sewing and designing. I'm not really marketing people or anything like that. So definitely, it's an art itself of doing marketing strategy.
yes. Do you know if how like the ecosystem itself for I'm not very aware of the entrepreneurial or the trade situation there. Like, are more people having their own business, or are they like doing office jobs? Like, what are the
I think most of people likes to stick with full-time job because it gave them stability. I find it they're not much of a entrepreneur because I think there's like a lot of regulations stick to it if it's like based in like Canada, and there's like a lot of tax to it too.
to open a business?
Um, no, just like in general, like all the sales, like it's I think by the end of the day, it's like the tax, the business permits, and so on, the insurance.
Mm.
I think I'm kind of not doing the insurance because I'm not producing it myself in here. Because if I'm producing it myself in here, then it towards like the worker rights and like I have to insure my workers. Then that what gets expensive. I think I haven't gone through it, but that's what I heard. But apparently, there's a lot of people that wanting to start business. So because especially after COVID, so maybe
Mhm.
it'll change.
Yeah. Oh, but it is now opens up, right? Like people starts going out, and
Yeah.
so you mentioned about difficulty in research, getting the resources. What else you find it difficult there?
I think it's more towards the market. No, market research into like, do people want to buy? Because I think it's not a necessity to buy at the moment because we're still in a pandemic. So yeah, probably just that. I don't know. Maybe there's more. I think I need to do budgeting.
Mhm. Yeah, surely. And yeah, so of course, to back to the first one of research, you look for people and collaborators. Who have you worked with, and what do you look for in collaborators, content wise?
Content wise, I think content-wise, the first one that I reached was Nidia Kusmaya, the girl that you interviewed. Like, she's a natural dye researcher. Um, that's who I worked with. But the next one, I talked with Mas Fikro. He's the one that have Hamparan Rintik. Yeah, and then what do I expect? Well, for me and that collaborator to hand on hand, like to work on an article, probably mainly like I would like to use most of the research that they already have and then repurposing it, and then I can add more to it and then put it on the Batik Library, and then I can put, and then no, it's not that I can put, I am putting their credentials in the post that are under the Batik Library. That's my main goal.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I see like the potential. People have done the research, so to add like a local perspective, probably like for people around Vancouver or North America.
Yeah. Probably, or making it into more established as a directory, or like it's easier to read for the general public.
So what are you working on in the near future? You mentioned about market research and budgeting. I guess that's like homework for the next 2 months during vacation.
Yeah, I think so. But the upcoming project that I will be having samples of shirts and short sleeve shirts.
Nice.
That's that, and then a bigger bandana that I worked with a, how do you call it? He's a bandana enthusiast in Japan. So we are currently working on that, and then it's more like I'm connecting him to the artisan in Jakarta. Not in Jakarta, I mean in Jawa.
Oh, that sounds so cool.
Thank
Bandana
you.
enthusiast?
Yeah, he's a bandana enthusiast. So if you look into it, his brand says One Ear Bunny. One Ear brand. Yeah, he's a blogger. And then he's been collecting vintage bandana, and then now he's releasing. Like, he also collaborated with like the local artist to One Ear brand. Yeah. And also like the potential are just like there's a lot to it to work on it. Like even with Ulur Wiji's product right now, like she sells hijab, like her designs are like really pretty, and then like I also want to like here to all the people that wear hijab in Canada and in the States, like, here, I got naturally dyed hijab for you too, like that. But yeah, so I would love to even promote hijab in Canada too, just like on the matter of better package. Like it cannot be just like, here I sell this. It all has to be planned out. So
yes, definitely. I think that is part of the research that you'll be doing, right? Some thoughts that I have in mind is one on the exploration for the application. So essentially, you can do anything with textiles, right? Be it with fashions, and we do home decor as well. So cushion covers, table runners, and also repurposing hijab into. We do have a hijab size, but we just call it not exactly for hijab. It's just like a square shawl that you can use it as a top or as a regular shawl. So it's not just restricted for the hijab market.
Yes, I see.
Cool. Oh, and you are doing a men's shirt as well.
Yes, my main idea is to have a unisex clothing line. Yeah. So it's because long time ago, I think probably like 3 years or 4 years ago, my friend told me like, Bernarda, you should do a unisex batik. That would be cool. It's like, okay.
Yeah, so that has been very interesting, and I think there is a parallel journey to what you're doing right now.
Ah,
Sure, maybe we would, like, set up
yeah.
a branch or
Yes.
in Canada and North America.
Yeah, definitely. Because like one of the things that I ordered out of Kalir that I mentioned, it came out super pretty, but it's more like it's super pretty. It's more like
Mm-hmm. Oh, nice.
very detailed. Yeah.
It's a square
Yeah.
bandana color. Okay.
It's also square bandana, and I feel like this is more like an artwork, and then it's worth to be displayed in the museum.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's also one of my plan that I want to reach out to local museum in here if they're like interested in showcasing.
Other than batik as the motif itself, like how is the reception towards natural dyes or sustainability in general in Canada?
Most of the comments is just like, oh, that's good. Yeah, I can see the difference. That's what they say. Like, oh yeah, I know it's indigo. It's like, okay, because then like if you compare it side by side, it's just like the vibrant color and then the more toned down color. But it's probably just that. Yeah.
But in general, like not just on Batik Library,
Mhm.
how's the sustainability perception in like day-to-day life?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, attitude towards.
There's a lot of people that is a fan of natural dye, definitely, and towards more sustainability, and then they are more keen into buying local recently.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And I guess before we close off our conversation today, do you have like a closing statement to sum up our conversation today that you might want to share?
So the closing statement is there will be an upcoming release with the batik from Ciwaringin and Pekalongan. So they're different. And also our first batch of clothing line. So stay tuned for that. And my hopes are to meet like-minded people, the one that wants to promote Indonesian batik to a broader audience. Wait, no, Indonesian Wastra.
All right. Awesome. Thank you so much, Bernarda, for sparing some time today. Yes.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, we'll be looking forward to more creative and good news from all the way from Canada. Thank you so much for joining us today. If you like this chat, do check out our previous interviews with other guests over on our IGTV or read it all on our website www.aNERDgallery.com. Do follow us across social media on Facebook and Instagram at aNERDgallery to find out more about future events and latest happenings. And until next time, stay safe and take care.